You're considering permanent hair extensions now, and obviously you want longer hair, you want thicker hair. But sometimes you may not be the right candidate for permanent hair extensions. There's a lot of information on Instagram, on Google, and sometimes it can get very confusing. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss a few categories. If you fall in these categories, please do not consider permanent hair extensions. We're just going to be a bit transparent so that you take an informed decision. So let's get started. Category number 1 is thin hair. If your hair is very thin, what I mean by thin hair is the diameter of each strand. If it's very thin, you should not consider permanent hair extensions. Reason being, if when you fix these permanent hair extensions to your hair, the hair shaft may not be able to take that weight. So if you have very thin hair and the hair shaft is thin, very fine, you shouldn't consider these hair extensions. In such cases, what you can do is you can probably design one clip-on hair extension, that too a light density one, which you can wear it in the morning and remove it in the night. If you're really looking for extensions for an event or for a shorter period, then what you can do is you can probably go for tape extensions or micro ring, but just a few strands, not to add too much length, maybe to increase the volume. So I would say maybe around 30 to 50 strands just to increase the volume, but definitely not the length, because usually when you add length, it basically makes your roots very heavy and the hair may not be able to take the weight. So if you have very fine hair, please do not consider permanent hair extensions. Clip-on hair extensions is always an option for you. Category number 2, very low density. A lot of times what happens is your natural density is very low. We do not suggest permanent hair extensions to add length and volume, because what happens is there may not be enough hair to cover the roots. So usually these permanent hair extensions are applied at the roots. So if you do not have much hair to cover the roots at the back, those extension tips will be visible. So it wouldn't really look very natural. If the density is low on the sides and the back, then maybe you should not consider a permanent hair extension, you should consider a clip-on one. Time commitment. Now when you wear these permanent hair extensions, obviously there's a bit of maintenance. You got to comb a particular way, you got to condition it. When you're conditioning it, you got to be careful. When you shampoo it, you got to be careful. So obviously it needs extra time, extra effort to comb the hair, to condition it, to natural dry it a bit. So if you feel that you may not be able to give time, you won't be able to put in effort, then maybe you should consider a clip-on one and not the permanent hair extensions one, because it needs a bit of time to style it, to natural dry it, to condition it, to shampoo it the right way. So you got to be careful, you got to start combing the ends and then going upwards. You need to take that decision. If you want completely zero maintenance, permanent hair extensions is not the right option for you. Alopecia, extreme hair loss. When you have alopecia or any form of extreme hair loss, a lot of times, a woman goes through a lot of hormonal changes and there's extreme hair loss. In such cases, don't immediately consider permanent hair extensions. Wait for some time. I'm sure you're basically on some medications to control the hair fall, to increase the hair growth. So in such cases, for at least 3 months, you should not consider permanent hair extensions. Maybe once the roots get a little stronger, then you can consider the permanent hair extension. But when you're experiencing extreme hair loss, I would not suggest considering permanent hair extensions. Also, in cases of alopecia, if the area is too large and if the hair is thinning in a particular area, please don't consider permanent hair extensions, because you're just adding too much weight on that weaker hair follicle. It's not meant to take that much weight. So in such cases, please avoid permanent hair extensions. Trained extensionists. So a lot of times what we've seen is a lot of clients go to the salon and they say that they want to get the extensions done, and most stylists say yes, they can do it, but you need to understand that hair extensions is a different subject altogether. A stylist who is excellent with cuts and colors may not be a perfect hair extensionist. There's a lot of training that goes into it. You got to practice for hours and days and months, so it does take time to basically get trained in hair extension. So what my suggestion is, please always consider trained extensionists who have experience in that specific area. It would be even more helpful if the hair extensionist has some kind of salon background, because you got to match the texture, you got to understand the volume, and blending in permanent hair extensions is extremely important. You just can't fix hair extensions. There's a way of cutting, there's a way of blending your natural hair with the extension. So you got to texturize the ends, you got to make sure it doesn't look artificial. It should not look as if you've just put extensions, and there will be a difference which will be clearly visible between your hair and the extensions. So just make sure when you go to someone, make sure they are very well in permanent hair extension, they have years of experience, because if you go wrong with the application, you're going to damage your hair. So it's definitely not worth taking that risk. Also, if they have that color knowledge, hair cutting knowledge, and if they are from a salon background, it will definitely help, because permanent hair extension needs a lot of skills. Most important skill, obviously, you need to know how to apply the extensions. It is not that easy. Basically, if you go very close to the roots, it's going to damage your roots. If you apply it away from the roots, it's obviously going to slip off even faster and it will come off. So you got to go to a trained person. Also make sure that they are very good with colors and they understand these L'Oreal Professional, Vela colors, because you got to blend the hair extensions colors with your natural hair, and that's when it looks very, very natural. Also make sure that extensionist is trained with hair extensions cutting techniques. This is again a different subject altogether. Cutting hair extensions and blending it with your hair is not easy. You got to slice it, because what happens is, if you're going to cut a lot of extensions, it's going to look again thin. If you don't cut the hair extensions right, what's going to happen is basically it will look disconnected, it will not look natural, it will not blend with your natural hair. So very, very important, just make sure you go to the right person. Let's talk about the cost. Now, a lot of times what happens is, when you're considering permanent hair extensions, you start searching online and you want to, and there are a lot of options. So obviously, as a consumer, as a client, you're going to get very, very confused. But I'm just going to probably make you aware so that you make an informed decision. You need to understand that price should not be a deciding factor when you're choosing extensions. What's important is the quality of the hair good? Now, what do I mean by quality of hair? You as a consumer, as a client, may not have too much information about hair extensions. So always make sure when you're fixing these hair extensions, most of the extensions that you see, they are all human hair. But in human hair, there are a lot of categories. When you'll choose these permanent hair extensions, the idea is to make it look like your own hair, right? So in such cases, always choose the double drawn hair. What double drawn means is basically from roots to ends, it's thick. A lot of times, you decide on basis of length, but you basically are going to get cheated. For example, if you take a 22 inches hair strand and if you compare it with a double drawn 22 inches hair strand, in that one particular strand, you're going to see the ends are going to be very, very thin. So what happens is, when you do the application, the ends are going to look very thin. Yes, it may be 22 inches or 24 inches, but end of the day, when you fix them, they do not look heavy at the bottom. And then what's the purpose, of adding length? So please make sure that when you'll choose hair extensions, you'll choose the double drawn one, you'll choose the Remy one. What I mean by Remy is basically all the cuticles are in one direction. Now this plays a very, very important role, because once you fix these permanent hair extensions, if you do not fix Remy hair, what's going to happen is, while you combing your hair, the hair is going to get knotted. It will basically add even more weight or even more tension at the roots, and eventually the roots will fall off. The roots will go weak, and we handle a lot of these cases. So just make sure, do not compromise on the quality when you're fixing permanent hair extensions. If it's clip-on, you want to experiment, that's fine, because there's no loss. You're just going to clip it on. If you're not happy with it, you remove it. But permanent hair extensions, you're going to live with it for the next 2-3 months, or maybe once you reuse it, you're going to continue wearing them. So make sure you do not compromise on the hair quality. If cost is a concern, I may suggest that wait for some time, save that money, but do not compromise on the quality of the hair, because if you choose the lower quality hair, the hair will basically tangle over a period of time and your roots will basically become weak, and eventually you will see that your natural volume has reduced. So please do not choose permanent hair extensions on base of cost. Do not compromise on the quality of hair extensions. Well, we are trying to provide you a lot of information regarding hair extensions because unfortunately here in India there's not much awareness and clients are misguided. They do not have much information about human hair, different types of permanent hair extensions, the pros and cons. So we are trying to make a lot of these informative videos, these educational videos, so you basically next time when you consider hair extensions or permanent hair extensions, you make an informed decision. If there's any other information you need regarding extensions, what you can do is you can comment in the comment box. We can go through it and we'll definitely reply to your comments, or you can also call us on 9967123333. You can just send us a WhatsApp message, or you can send your hair pictures and the list of questions. We will be happy to help you, and if there's any more information you need, you can also do a video consultation, or you can call us on 9967123333. Thank you so much for watching our video, and if you want more information or you're somebody who's fond of extensions, I would request you to please subscribe to our channel. We're going to create a lot of educational videos regarding the hair extensions and create a lot of awareness regarding hair extensions. Thank you so much, and please subscribe to Alchemane Hair Extensions. Thank you.